Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and this evening we're going to have a look at the latest GFS, GM, ECMWF, then we'll have a look at the latest GFS Ensembles, and then we'll finish off by having a look at the latest temperature charts, as it does look like we're going to be going to a very hot spell of weather, the first real heat wave of the summer, with temperatures in and around the mid to high 20s over the next week at least, if not up to the next 10 days, and many areas seeing very little or to no rain in that period as well. So it's looking very encouraging for those who like hot summery weather. Now, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well, links in the description. So if we have a look at the latest GFS, you can see at the moment high pressure is starting to take control of our weather. Now, we still have that low pressure, which is moving away slowly. It has meant that we're not quite under the centre of the high yet, so we still have a bit of cloud over the top of the UK. But temperatures have been quite responsive today. We've seen maybe 23, 24 degrees quite widely, and I think temperatures peaked at around 25 degrees, where we saw some sunshine in Aberdeenshire in northeast Scotland. But this low pressure will eventually clear overnight into tomorrow, and the centre of the high will be over top of Ireland and heading into the UK tomorrow. Still maybe a little bit of cloud in the east, prohibiting temperatures a little bit. But by Friday, all of the countries under this high pressure, maybe apart from just a few northern islands off the coast of Scotland, but most areas going to have beautiful sunshine on Friday and Saturday. 850 HPA temperatures getting up above 10 degrees. Remember, the rule of thumb for 850 HPA temperatures is that the surface temperatures tend to be between 10 and 15 degrees above the 850 HPA temperatures, just depending on sort of wind directions and some subtle changes, but that's the general rule of thumb. So with the upper air temperatures at 850 HPA being around 12 or 14 degrees, most areas are going to be seeing temperatures around 25, 26, or even 27 or 8 degrees in some locations through Saturday. Now, at the moment, it does look like the peak temperatures could be around Sunday, Monday, where that centre of the high is really over the top in England and Wales and Ireland, and that's where we could be seeing 30 or 31 degrees. Now, on this latest GFS, you do see low pressure trying to push in from the northeast, and it temporarily pushes some cooler air in. Now, it probably will be accompanied by a bit of cloud, of course, as it does look like a colder front is going to move through. But there won't be any rain, really, with that, as we are still at the centre of the high. We'll just push some of the hotter air away. And by early next week, we're still under the high pressure. Temperatures will be a little bit lower than the weekend, still around 25, 26 degrees. So even if you really don't like hot weather, it's not going to be overly oppressive, this sort of heat wave for many areas. Temperatures are just going to be around sort of 25, 26, 27 degrees for most areas. Not going to be the sort of 35 degree sort of heat waves we've seen over the last few summers, where widely the British Isles have got above 30 degrees. But in a few locations it may get that oppressive, around 30 or 31 degrees through the weekend, and maybe on Monday as well. But as we head towards sort of day 10, you can see low pressure starting to make an influence in the southwest. But what it will also do, not only turning things a little bit more unsettled potentially further westwards, but it does start to move the jet stream, a dip in the jet stream, causing southerly winds. And if we have a look at the 850 HPA temperatures, you can see there some very hot air. The 15-degree isotherm is coming onto southern England, and the 25-degree isotherm, or the 20 and the 25-degree isotherm, is entering France. A very hot air there. Now, on this latest GFS, it does get pushed away by the end of the week, and we do start to go into a more of a westerly phase. Nothing massively unsettled, but generally a bit more unsettled than we're going to see over the next 7 to 10 days. Now, that is in sort of the 10 to 14 time frame, so it's quite uncertain, and things can change. So in the next 7 to 10 days, it's looking very warm and settled. And then maybe at that 10-day time frame, we may start to see low pressure trying to push in. But at the same time, that could bring up even hotter air, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. If we see how the GM compares to the GFS, you can see at the moment the high pressure is going to build in over the next day. If you look at the 850 HPA temperatures, you can see that centre of the high comes in with some even hotter air than the GFS had, with potentially an area of 15 degrees at 850 HPA pushing in. But widely around 12 or 14 degrees at at 850 HPA, and that's centre of the high pressure across England, Wales and Ireland. And that means on Sunday we could see temperatures get up to around 30 degrees in some warmer spots, and then widely around 27, 28 degrees. So very pleasant on the weekend for those who like hot weather. But similarly to the GFS, we do start to bring some cooler air from the east, but it doesn't quite get through the whole country, and we maintain some quite warm conditions, even through the middle of next week, in the middle of that high pressure. And then you start to see that low pressure develop out in the Atlantic, and it does start to pull in some southerly winds, which could again bring up the 20 or the 15 degree isotherm and potentially the 20 degree isotherm into parts of France, and that could bring temperatures back up above 30 degrees by the end of next week. Again, very uncertain as it is sort of getting towards a 10-day time frame, so I have to keep an eye on that, and it does go more unsettled with that, so it's sort of a 1 or 2 day really shot of quite sort of 30 plus degree weather with some very oppressive conditions before low pressure moves through, with probably some thunderstorms within that. So if we have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare, you can see the high pressure does really build in over the next few days, and by Saturday firmly in control under high pressure. And we do have the 15 degree isotherm through once again, so that's allowed temperatures to get up to high 20s, maybe even 30 degrees, especially in the south, and even in the west we see the hottest upper air temperatures. By Sunday, we've still got very hot temperatures at 850 HPA before we do start to see that cold front move through, and you can see temperatures dip below 10 degrees 850 HPA in eastern areas, but I'm a little bit unsure about that, as we'll see in the ensembles in a minute. Now that's next Wednesday, so in a week's time. Beyond that, as we head into the sort of the 10-day time frame, you do see that low pressure developing out in the Atlantic, bringing up that hot air from the south. So we could see a temporary cool down in about a week's time before we go back into some very hot weather, but potentially it'll be a little bit more unsettled with a few showers further westwards. And eventually, if we have a look, or as we had a look at that GFS run, beyond that, it does look like that low pressure will eventually move through, which could cause a thundery breakdown. Now that's all in sort of the 10-day plus time frame, so we won't really be concentrating on that in this video. That's more for sort of this weekend and start of next week, looking at how that might develop. So if we now have a look at the GFS ensembles, you can see how it's going to be very hot over the next week or so. You can see temperatures well above average, around sort of 5 or 6 degrees above average, 850 HPA. And remember, in many areas, especially in the south, the average July high is around 21 to 22 degrees. So going to be around 27, 28 degrees plus over the next week in many areas. You do see, as we head towards 7 days, around the 21st of July, there's a few precipitation spikes, but generally still up into that. It's completely dry for the next week, and if not, next 10 days before we do see more significant rainfall spikes. But you can see at that 7-day point, we do see some ensemble members and the operational run going cooler as that cold front moves in. But at the same time, we've got the other half of the ensemble members not getting that cold front through at all and maintaining very hot conditions. Now they both, whatever scenario happens, it does look like high pressure will still be in control, and this cold front will just sort of be a bit of cloud and maybe a little bit drizzly rain here or there, but it will still bring some cooler conditions through. But generally still looks high pressure is going to be in control until around 23rd, maybe 24th of July, before things look a little bit more unsettled. But a lot of scatter on the end of this ensemble chart, so there's no point really looking at this too literally at this stage. Just hints that we could start to see low pressure push in from the south, which could turn things more unsettled with a thundery breakdown. So I have to keep an eye on that. If we do have a look at the 2-meter temperatures, we'll just look at that briefly. Again, they're not going to be what the exact temperatures as the ensembles are low resolution, so they don't predict it too well. But you can see generally over the next week, see temperatures rising day on day, starting around maybe 24, 25 degrees tomorrow in London before heading up to around 28, 29 degrees by the weekend, and then early next week starting to drop a little bit, but that's because of those cool ensemble members with that cold front moving in, dropping temperatures down to the mid to low 20s again, but others remaining around high 20s. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that over the next few days. So now if we do have a look at the temperature charts, so if we do have a look through the GFS, we'll just go through the next sort of 10 days. You You can see tomorrow afternoon, maybe 23, 24 degrees, quite widely. Before Friday, things hotting up a little bit more, maybe 25, 26, or even 27 degrees in sort of the Midlands into northern England. And then by Saturday, widely quite hot, around 26, 27 degrees, or even 28 degrees could be seen at some points. And you can see the hot weather is stretching for the whole country. You can see even in Scotland seeing 26 degrees, Ireland seeing 26, 27 degrees, northern England all the way down to southern England, areas are seeing 26, 27 degrees. So there's going to be widespread warmth. By Sunday, where we could see sort of the peak temperatures, we could be seeing 28, 29 degrees in the southeast and even northern England as well. Before, as we head through to Monday, you can see temperatures are starting to turn a bit cooler in the northeast as that cold front does move through. But in southern England, still 25, 26 degrees. But as we saw by the ensemble members, the GFS operational run, which is what we're looking at, did overdo that cold front compared to most of the other ensemble members. So I would take this with a little bit of a pinch of salt there. And by Tuesday, you can see temperatures around 21, 22 degrees, so much cooler. Before we head into Wednesday, we start to pull at those southerly winds, so temperatures start to go up a little bit by 24 degrees. And then Thursday, again 24, 25 degrees maybe. And then Friday, temperatures are looking a bit cooler once again as low pressure is starting to take control. So a little bit weird there on the 7 plus time frame on the GFS, as it does have that cold front moving through a lot quicker and bringing much cooler air in than other ensemble members and other models. So we'll just have to see how that compares to the GEM now, and then lastly the Icon and the UKMO office. So if we do run through the GEM, if we do have a look tomorrow afternoon, temperatures peaking potentially in the southwest at around 25, 26 degrees, and widely 22, 23, maybe 24 degrees. There's a bit more of an onshore breeze coming in off the North Sea in the east, so that's why temperatures are a little bit cooler there. Again, that's really going to depend on the exact wind direction of the high pressure, and any surface level breezes can really have quite a significant impact on the temperatures, even though it won't really change what weather we're going to be seeing in terms of cloud or rain. So difficult to see there, but does look like potentially in the east temperatures could be a little bit cooler. But I know many people wouldn't mind temperatures being around 18, 19 degrees rather than in the mid to high 20s. So maybe that would probably be the favourable places over the next few days. By Friday, temperatures widely in the Midlands and western areas getting up to around 25, 26, maybe even 27 degrees. For Saturday, more widespread heat develops. We could be seeing 27 or 28 or even 29 degrees with the peak temperatures down in the southwest, interestingly. Remember, that is where sort of the centre of the high is, just positioned out here towards Wales and southwest England. So I'm not surprised to see the highest temperatures there. And then as we head through to Sunday, again, widespread heat, potentially 30 degrees, which is in the southwest, and many central areas and southern areas seeing 28, 29 degrees or so. And things are cooling down a little bit in the north, we do start to see that cold front move through. But it doesn't really impact many other areas. We're still seeing mid to high 20s quite widely through Monday, and then through Tuesday, again, widespread warmth with potentially the apex of the temperatures out in eastern part of Ireland and parts of Wales and southwest England again. And then through Wednesday, temperatures getting high again, 28 degrees. Thursday, again, quite warm once again, 26, 27 degrees, quite widely. Temperatures cooling down a little bit in the east as we have some cooler air coming in. Before Friday, temperatures picking up a little bit again, but it does look like that low pressure will be moving in. So we'll have to keep an eye on that towards the sort of the 10-day time frame. But again, GM going very warm, showing again us reaching 30 degrees in some western areas and widely 25 degrees plus. If we now have a look at the Icon run, if we do move through to sort of tomorrow afternoon, you can see widespread 22, 23 degrees. By Friday afternoon, 25, 26, maybe even 27 degrees in a few spots. And then by Saturday afternoon, widely 25, 26 degrees, if not 27 or 28 degrees in a few locations. And then Sunday, where we could see sort of the apex temperatures around 28 to 29 degrees very widely. Interesting from the Icon there, it has much less of a northeasterly sort of breeze. So even areas towards East Anglia and northeast coast still getting up to around 27, 28 degrees. So very warm there, and widely 27, 28 degrees. And I'm sure a few spots will be getting up to 29, 30 or even 31 degrees. By Monday, you you can see temperatures again very hot, and by 12 p.m. 28, 29 degrees reached. So I suspect if we could run this on another few hours, we would be seeing on Monday potentially 31 or maybe even 32 degrees on the icon. And I'm more inclined to suspect the icon is more correct than the GFS and GEM, as it is more high resolution, so it does resolve these situations a little bit better. So I am more inclined to say looking like very widespread warm temperatures, and we could be seeing widely 27, 28, and even 30 or 31, even 32 degrees in some areas, especially in the south. But one interesting thing about this warmth is the apex temperatures, the highest temperatures, could be seen really anywhere in sort of southeastern areas, or even southwestern areas, or even to parts of Wales, or even northern England, where we do see some fern effect going on with air descending off the hills. So we could see the highest temperatures pretty much anywhere over the next sort of week or so. So it'd be very interesting to see what sort of the daily highest temperatures do come into. And check out my Twitter, as I'll be posting and retweeting those throughout the next sort of week or so. So if we finally have a look at the UK Met Office run, now this is the model primarily used by the UK Met Office. Of course, it's their model, and it's used for their video forecast, their app forecasts, and their weather warnings. And I've been seeing many sort of images today from the Met Office app showing 28, 29 degrees quite widely at many locations. So I'll be interested to see what the raw model data does show. So if we get to Thursday afternoon, you can see temperatures around 23, 24 degrees, perhaps, especially in the south. By Friday afternoon, temperatures around 25, 26, or even 27 degrees, quite widely across England and Wales. Before, if we move into Saturday, into the weekend, widely 25, 26, or even 27, and maybe the odd 28 degrees in northern England, but feeling very pleasant for many areas. Not too oppressive, because remember, we can get temperatures sometimes in this country where it does get up to sort of 35 degrees, and it really is debilitating at that sort of temperatures. You really can't get a lot done, so I think this sort of 27, 28 degrees is the best of both worlds, I would say personally, where we do see hot temperatures for those who enjoy the hot weather, going out to the beach and enjoying the outdoors, but it's also those who don't enjoy the warmth. It's not going to be that oppressive too early in the morning, and even in the evenings temperatures will cool down quite substantially, even if we look at sort of 9 p.m. on Saturdays, only around 18, 19, 20 degrees in many areas. Perhaps we see the peak temperatures may still be around 22, 23 degrees or so. But it's not too oppressive, and you can see overnight into Sunday early morning, many areas getting down to maybe 15, 16 degrees, or even a little bit cooler than that. Maybe in London, because of the urbanisation, it may remain 18, 19 degrees, but we have seen times over the last few years where temperatures widely have stayed in 19, 20 degrees. So it does look relatively decent for sleeping, if not a little bit oppressive potentially. But through Sunday, you can see temperatures really picking up. Widely 28, 29 degrees, if not 30 or 31 degrees. So Sunday looking very hot on the UK Met Office run. And again, similar to the Icon run, I'm more inclined to believe these higher resolution models. So interesting seeing 30, 31 degrees there on the UK Met Office run. Initially in southeastern Wales, sort of western England, before reaching around 31 degrees in the London area by 6 p.m. And if we do run through until Monday afternoon at 3 p.m, you can see temperatures a little bit cooler as the cold front is, of course, moving across the eastern areas. Nowhere near as influential as the GFS run, but many areas in the east only around 21, 22 degrees, and many areas in the south around 27, 28 degrees. So looking very, very warm over the next week. So if you do go outside, do remember to hydrate, wear sun cream, of course, as even though I am saying these temperatures aren't quite as high as we've seen over the last few years in terms of being widespread sort of 30, mid to low 30s, it still can cause issues, and it still can be dangerous, especially for older and more vulnerable people. So do make sure if you are going out and you want to do something, do avoid sort of the peak times, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. For sort of temperatures and UV levels. But if you do enjoy the summer weather, make sure you do go out and enjoy it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.